What's up guys, Jack here, and quick update on what's going on in this video. So, we have Gustavo Yacamán, very aggressive driver. In 2013, he was put on probation in the Grand Am Sports Car Series. He's a former Indy Lights driver, but he's always been known for being very aggressive. What are you going to see? You're going to see him being very aggressive. We're going to show the highlights of the 42 car Oak Racing had in the 2014 IMSA season. Now, you're going to see two different looking cars in the top prototype class. Actually three, because the Delta Wing is there, but we'll get into that in another video. In the 2014 season, you had the Daytona prototypes and the American Le Mans Series LMP2 cars merged into one category. They sped the Daytona prototypes up by giving them more downforce and more power, and a lot less weight. They slowed down the LMP2 cars by making them run the tires designed for the Daytona prototypes. So, the cars were kind of equal on power. Daytona prototypes, faster on the straights, LMP2s, faster in the corners. Now, this provided a lot of interesting racing. The Daytona prototypes were very fast on the straights, LMP2s were very fast in the corners. So that's the context of what's going on in this video. Now we're going to get into the most aggressive driver in the 2014 season, which is saying a lot. In a future video, I will show you all of the damage that took place in that season from aggressive driving, but this driver put the cherry on the top.
Here we go. Green, 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 go, go, go. And it's going to be a long, long run down to turn one.
Watch that turn one. It's a dangerous first corner here.
Memo Rojas there. Look for Christian Fittipaldi in the Action Express, the championship leader in the red, white, and blue car. He moves up to third. Look at Yacamán, really aggressive. Ricky Taylor to the inside.
And Taylor does a good run. Gets the
and gets slid out wide. It's John Pugh in the 60.
He got help a little bit, but you get wide here, and the racetrack is dirty. And you can't get the car to turn. Pugh was on the far out.
In the book, 63 degrees. That means it's going to take a while for these Continental tires to come up to temperature and pressure. Pruitt leads out of the hairpin. He does, and what's really impressive there is the guy in fourth spot, Yacamán. He's running that P2 car. It's a much lighter weight car. That means the tires don't really generate the tire temp quite as quickly. And there you see Valiente taking advantage of that off the hairpin, getting a better launch. Really putting the pressure. Rojas in the 0-1. Pruitt. Here comes Yacamán back to the inside.
Really deep, little contact there. It's going to work.
Michael had to give it up. If he forced it too far into the corner, the tires are right there. So there was contact, not only right there, but we understand a little contact a couple of laps ago with the 42 with Ricky Taylor. So does he have a problem? It looks like he's got a piece of bodywork missing. He's back up to speed. Maybe just got some pickup. Let's have a look here on replay. Here's into the hairpin turn, Dorsey.
Yacamán tries to get a better launch off that corner.
Gets into the diffuser a little bit. May have got a little bit of damage there, but I don't think that was the issue. Either had a bobble.
You know what? It could have been pushed out wide, and it got the marbles on his tires. Yeah. There's a lot of dirt up.
We are underway at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Expect aggression.
Valiente clears him. Look at this. Yacamán down the outside. Deep move. Goes up to second. What a move by Gustavo Yacamán.
Yak attack on the way to the front.
Christian Fittipaldi also right there in the red and white number 5 from Action Express.
One of the Corvettes off the road. They start to be extremely aggressive.
Earlier we heard from Bobby Rahal. This is the part of the track named for him. Rahal straight now, plunging down more than 100 feet. A 10-story drop through the corkscrew.
Great lap by Ed Brand. There was so much pressure on him. I think everyone had
on it.
Look at Yacamán, he's looking for a way by. Michael Valiente. Yacamán really deep into the brake zone.
Trying the outside. He's going to try an over-under here.
You talked about it, Bob. Daytona prototypes like Valiente is driving at the lead of the field right now. Won the first 3 races. There's been some performance adjustments, balance of performance we call it, to the DPs. They've lost a little bit of restrictor, meaning they shouldn't have the horsepower advantage they've had in the opening 3 rounds. But right now, that heavier car gets the
team knows how to set up a car for this track.
I think they like the smoother circuits. I mean, they've really been struggling to get their shock package to work on the bumpiness of like Long Beach to Sebring on these smoother circuits. Here comes Yacamán. Valiente defense.
Valiente to the middle of the track, took the line away.
And I tell you what, they had a little bit of argy-bargy at Long Beach. There's not a lot of love lost between these two guys.
Well, that's hard racing, but it's clean.
This is good stuff. Look at Yacamán. He wants it. He is hungry. He wants the lead.
Keeping the pressure high. That's very good. Good run off this corner. See who does what.
You mentioned the weight difference between the cars, Calvin. I'm wondering if Yacamán is just trying to push Michael Valiente so hard that a few laps from now he might run the tires off the Corvette.
Valiente's going to go defensive down here in turn 2. Watch. Takes the inside away right away.
And this is hurting his lap time, and I think that's allowing the 2 ESM cars to stay in contact with these. Yacamán definitely has some pace right now.
Yeah, he wants it too. He's a very aggressive driver. We know that.
When we left you, it was close at the front of this race. It's even closer now as Michael Valiente leads Gustavo Yacamán, who's never been more than a car length away on the last lap. Then Christian Fittipaldi and Scott Sharp, who have closed up to join the fight.
There have been some fireworks over the last couple of minutes here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Yacamán is feeling the heat from behind. He is forcing the issue on Michael Valiente.
This is the kind of thing we're talking about. 2 laps ago, Yacamán attacks at the top of the corkscrew. And there goes a piece, I think, off the Daytona prototype.
It was off the back of the prototype. Here comes Yacamán inside. He gets pressured here.
You think he's got him? Nope.
This is awesome racing. Valiente doesn't want to give up the lead of this motor race. Yacamán wants it in the worst possible way.
And Valiente's holding Yacamán up. You can tell that because Fittipaldi's right behind him. He's got Scott Sharp with him. There's a bump. Watch this.
Next lap, same floor to the racetrack. Coming across start finish down to the Andretti hairpin.
Valiente defends, takes that inside lane away. It looked like Yacamán's got it. Does he have track position? No, Michael squeezes on the power.
You saw a little bit of hand movement there, steering input from Yacamán. He just slipped that little fraction of a second. That was all that Valiente needed.
And of course, but in doing so, he's slowing up the whole freight train, and they're getting caught up from behind. Look, inside, outside, try inside again. Won't work in here.
There could be some tears here in a moment. This is getting really, really tight. Yacamán will think about the outside. It's not going to work here in Rainy Curve.
2-1 won't go here.
Great driving by both these young drivers. This is sensational stuff.
Insensibly, the 3 behind are content to watch right now. They don't want any part of what might happen.
Well, judging the way Christian Fittipaldi pulled up to Yacamán's gearbox, I'm not sure he's content to wait anymore.
He's got a pusher now.
Yeah.
Well, the DP still seem to have a little.
I think Christian has just enough gap to the front guys to be safe because it seems like it's the last lap, but there's still a long way to go. It's definitely a sprint race. It's only 2 hours, so everybody's going flat out.
They're having a great time down here in the Action Express camp. They are glued to the screen, guys.
We said one of the keys to victory was track position. No one wants to give it up right now. You might not have a chance to get it back.
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking, which corner would I want to sit at if I could just wander around the racetrack?
I think 11, pretty good.
2, top of the corkscrew.
I'll take passenger on the helicopter seat.
Okay, there you
I don't know. I'm not watching. I stopped watching after 2 laps. Yeah, when Gustavo's behind you, then it's probably best not to watch. I mean, it's a 2-hour race. It doesn't feel like it at the moment, but I think we've just got to survive this onslaught and get to the first round of pit stops, and then we just want a nice, clean race. And a lot of bad luck the last 3 races, so we just want a nice, clean race. And so, yeah, that's why I'm not watching at the moment.
Best way to stay cool and calm, guys.
Good luck with that one. Make sure this is going to stay clean.
The race would end in tears for the 42 car, where Alex Brundle would end up having contact and damaging and ruining the car's race. The next race up at Detroit Belle Isle, it was a little bit more clean. He got a little bit bullied by the Daytona Prototypes on the start, but he made a great move on the ESM car here right away to get the car into contention. They would go on to get a podium at this race, and they would go on to win the race at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. They would start on pole, and for once making it to the lead in the first corner, they were able to fully establish a win. So Oak Racing was able to get their first win of the season. But moving forward onto the next race at Watkins Glen, Gustavo Yacamán had a fairly quiet race where not much a lot happened on his terms, but Alex Brundle had possibly the race of the year with the 90 car, which I may make a highlight video of it itself because of how great it was. But here at Indianapolis, we had an insanely aggressive start. The 90 car moves under braking, forcing the 5 car to go short, taking out Gustavo Yacamán here. So here, he was more of a victim than anything else. He really didn't do a lot wrong in this race. He was rather unfortunate to get taken out. They were able to recover a little bit later into the race, but they ended up not finishing too well due to pit strategy. In this race, the Daytona Prototypes ended up being able to go a lot farther on fuel, and the LMP2 cars ended up needing an extra pit stop, and it didn't end up working out very well strategy-wise for them. But moving on to Road America, there was an accident. That race was just an absolute mess. It possibly was one of the worst IMSA races of all time, most of the race being under yellow. And I'll let him tell you what happened.
Now, what happened from what you saw?
Well, Van Overbeek just obliterated took us out. I mean, anyone that saw the incident can see that he just hit us from behind and sent us to the wall. It's a shame, you know, we've had a really, really tough weekend. Our pace hasn't been great. we've had a mechanical failure in practice too. I made a mistake in the warm-up, and now this is the third time we hit the wall this weekend. So things weren't meant to be this weekend. Our championship chances are, I guess, completely over now. But overall, really, really disappointed. The BOP here was a complete joke. For us in the P2 cars, there's absolutely nothing that we can do. I think we might as well race in the PC class in this track because there's nothing that we can do. So really sad, especially for the guys in the team. You know, they just work so hard, stay up late to get this car out there, and it's a shame that some dumbass takes us out the way he just did. So we move on into Austin and Road Atlanta, trying to get some wins and finish the year strong.
Thank you.
All right, so right now I'm coming back because we have a brand new car. Oak Racing debuts their Ligier JSP2 in the United States. It ran it at Le Mans. Now this is a Honda-powered car, and Alex Brundle put it on pole. The reason Yacamán you see going so early and this restart not counting is because he went too early, and the reason he's doing that is because the Daytona prototypes have such an acceleration advantage. He thinks he has to, and you'll see what that kind of causes when he goes a little bit later.
That Drivers' Championship even tighter. 3 teams, 5 drivers, tied for the lead. Bob?
We have so many stories to tell you as we go forward, but now we do get the green flag underway. And look at the 0-1 going up the inside.
Oh, contact there.
Racing.
Yeah, there's contact on Ricky Taylor there. He runs wide. Hopefully he didn't cut down a tire there. Looks like Rojas has taken the lead from P3 on the grid, but Yacamán comes back at him.
Oh, boy.
I think it was Yacamán, though, that got in the back. We got a car spun up on top of one.
It's like one of the prototype
There's
challenge
another.
cars gone around. There's a second one.
Yacamán got in the back of Rojas, it looked like to me.
Horsepower this race, but look at this. Rojas gets to the inside. He nudges Yacamán a little bit, and then he gets into the back of Ricky Taylor. Forces him wide, but obviously damage to the rear end of the Konica Minolta machine.
Good view here.
Oh, that was a big hit to the back of the 10 Corvette.
Good save by Ricky Taylor on cold tires after getting nailed.
On board with Yacamán now.
Coming from both sides. He's sandwiched. And then I think when he's looking at the cars, he misses his braking point a little bit and just rams Ricky Taylor. But look at that. He cuts back to the inside and takes the lead.
Oh, Taylor with a flat left rear at least.
The car's broken. I need to pit.
It's a Porsche today in GT Le Mans, and a problem in one. It's the 42.
That's a big hit.
Impact, and
You
that'll
see the
bring
tracks. He was carrying big speed, and he looks like he got just up on the curb.
He may have been going around the outside as someone. He could have gone.
Wing into one. Delta wing down on the inside. Couldn't tell if the movement from the Delta wing was because he hit the curb and then Yacamán, or hit Yacamán and that's what upset the car. But you could definitely see movement.
Yeah, I mean, Yacamán was definitely sweeping across, whether he thought he was clear or not.
And with that wreck, that ends Gustavo Yacamán and Oak Racing's 2014 and only season in IMSA. Unfortunately, he did not return the next year. Fortunately for some, depending on who you are. But overall, Gustavo Yacamán was one of the most aggressive drivers in one of the most aggressive seasons of IMSA that I have ever seen. But I loved every second of it as a fan. And if you guys enjoyed that, let me know if there's any other topics you want to see kind of compiled into one. If you liked the video, please drop a like or subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one, but I'll give you a hint. What you're seeing on screen now might be the next subject.